What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying? Stop looking at what you ain't got, start being thankful for what you do got. Let's get it to him, baby girl. Hey! That's right.
Hello my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This was one of the movies that was, well, one of the many movies that was delayed due to the COVID pandemic, but this movie was not released theatrically. It was bought and acquired by Netflix. Initially the movie was called Connected, but then the title was changed to The Mitchells vs. the Machines. But anyway, it's a very hot day today, so bear with me. So the basic plot of this film is as follows. A quirky, dysfunctional family's road trip is upended when they find themselves in the middle of a robot apocalypse and suddenly become humanity's unlikeliest last hope. So, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This is a good movie. I think this is quite a fun, enjoyable film. For me, what hangs this film together is the central relationship between the father and the daughter. We focus on a girl named Katie who wants to become a filmmaker and has real talent and creative flair, but her dad, Rick, doesn't support her. He just doesn't want her to fail, like he doesn't want her to be left with no money, etc. I mean, he means well, but he doesn't see why she loves it so much. And it's really about the two of them. They have a very dysfunctional relationship, and that's really what the movie kind of goes on. All the stuff regarding the robot apocalypse doesn't particularly interest me, but it's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's, you know, it's a bit of fun action. And this was made by the same people who made Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you know, Sony Pictures Animation. And by God, they redeemed themselves after the Emoji Movie, let me tell you that. So the animation at points feels very kind of like a comic book, like very sort of cartoony, and with all the emojis and the expressions and everything, and sometimes you see what the characters are thinking on screen. It's a very interesting style of animation, and I'm glad that they made another film like this after Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You could argue that the story is a bit, you know, cliche. It's very thin. There isn't much substance to the narrative, but I think it's fine for what it is. It's a fun action movie, but again, the father-daughter relationship is what really keeps it going, and even though elements of it are, I suppose, a bit cliche, I'll allow it because I actually thought it was quite sweet, and in the end, when the two of them were fighting together, that was really cool. There's a song that the two of them sing, which is Rihanna's "Live Your Life." They sing that together. They did sing it when Katie was like a toddler, and then at the end when they're fighting the robots together, they sing it again. It's a nice blissful moment there. I appreciate the fact that the movie has great emotional resonance, and again, very well animated, and the cast do a very good job. You have Abbi Jacobson, who plays Katie. She's a very good central protagonist in this story. And you've also got Danny McBride, who plays Rick, who's the father. I didn't actually think it was Danny McBride at first. I thought it was Seth Rogen. It sounds a bit similar, but yeah, no, they're very good, and they keep this film going. The fact that there's not really an antagonist as such doesn't bother me as such. Well, there is. The antagonist is a phone called Pal, which is kind of weird, but I suppose quite interesting. Voiced by Olivia Coleman, though. Amazing that Olivia Coleman voices the phone in this movie. She wants to get revenge on everyone who's using phones because of the amount of times that people keep using the phones on their fingers and how much it's damaging her and also damaging them. So this movie had a really interesting commentary on technology, which I really thought was great. And there's a moment where Rick says to his family, can we just have 10 seconds of a quiet family zone where we all just give each other eye contact? This speaks volumes about our real life today, because, you know, even in my family, we're all glued to our phones. Me, not as much, but I do go on my phone, of course. I'm talking to you on my phone right now. But it just goes to show how much of this world has been dominated by technology, and I really liked that the movie drew in on that. And so the movie had a really sort of thematic presence about, you know, technology and family, and kind of how the things can work together and how they also damage one another. So, for example, you know, he's choosing to support his daughter in her filmmaking career, but also he wants to, you know, create enough family time for them. And I think that's a really great commentary, and I think it's something that everybody should take away from this film. It's about the balance between family and technology, which is really good. The action sequences are okay, they're fine, they're for what they are. I mean, the robots themselves are fairly basically designed, but they're amusing. There's even two robots that help the family at one point fight the robots. Maya Rudolph plays Linda, who's the mum. She's pretty good. She doesn't have as much of a feature until the very end when she goes a bit crazy and starts killing the robots. Michael Rianda as Aaron, who's Katie's brother. He's a younger brother, and he has a bit of a mad obsession with dinosaurs, which is interesting. The two of them don't feature as much in the story, but they are a part of the central group, shall we say. What's interesting is that on the journey, the Mitchells meet up with the family that they know socially, called the Posies, who are the image of this sort of perfect family that they want to be. And then that's the kind of message of the story, is that every family is their own, has their own identity, and no one should aspire to be like anyone else. We should all be individual. And I like the messages of this movie. There are some really good messages here. And I think, for me, one of my only major criticisms of this film would have to be the length. I think the film's a little bit too long. The sort of robot apocalyptic stuff does sort of go on and on. Like, once the second half of the movie kicks in, it does become more action-based, and it starts to drag on for me. I do think that some of that could have been cut. It wasn't all necessary. And some of the humour, it's a bit hit and miss. Some of it works. Some of the jokes I actually laughed out loud, and others I didn't so much. But this is a really good film. It's a really strong movie, and I'm surprised how much I liked it, to be honest. It's got something for everyone, and it's a very relatable movie. It's very thematic, like I say, themes about family and technology, and an interesting commentary on that. And placing the phone as a central antagonist in the story is quite a good idea, and I think it actually works really well. At the heart of it, you have a central father-daughter relationship, which is very sweet and very adorable. So I definitely recommend this. As for the title, I actually think calling it Connected would have been a better title. I don't like the fact that they changed it to Mitchells versus the Machines. I think, to be honest, that's a subpar title. I think calling it Connected is a more thematic title, and it makes more sense on a personal and emotional level, as well as, literal, talking about the technology side of the film. But I think Connected is a better title, personally. But anyway, I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10.
What you need to do is be thankful for the life you got, you know what I'm saying? Stop looking at what you ain't got, start being thankful for what you do got. Let's get it to him, baby girl. Hey! That's right.
I'd like to give also a shout out to Harry Thomas Pictures. He's a very good friend and subscriber of mine. Please check out his review of this film. So thank you all for watching this review. Stay tuned for more content in the future. Please hit that subscribe button for further content. And until next time, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See you soon. Bye for now.